Good morning, my beautiful creatures. It's not even morning time, so I don't know why I said morning. Good morning. No. Hello, my beautiful creatures. Sorry, I just finished screaming my mother and grandmother's name because I was like, guys, we're shooting my podcast. Don't be loud. And honestly, they're not really being that loud. The walls here are just really, really, really thin. Anyway, how are you guys? How are we doing? Honestly, be proud of me. Be proud of me because I have procrastinated on all things that is currently life. The only thing that I can manage is to sleep and feed myself and then get myself to work. Though, actually, I have started working out, but that isn't, I'm not even, I'll give myself credit for it because I am actively going to the gym and for 30 minutes to an hour now starting to exercise, but I do it when I'm at work because we have a gym at my job. If we did not have a gym at my job, I would not be exercising. Excuse me, sorry, your girl's a bit burpy. Anyway, I've had a rough, couple of weeks, I'm not gonna lie. The motivation's been low. The thoughts haven't been the greatest. It's been more of is this all life is? Is this despair? Is this the same thing every single day? How do people not get bored like this? Yeah, I was having a midlife crisis. And I'm only 22. Which, guys, my birthday is next month. Kind of crazy. It's also crazy because it means that we're about to be 4 months into the year. We're already 3 months into the year, and I'm like, what the hell? These last couple of months have gone by so fast. It's insane. But no, I genuinely had to take a step back and just regroup a bit. And I still feel like I'm not regrouped. I feel like I don't even know, y'all, what I'm feeling like. But your girl has decided to push through it. I'm trying to get back on track with schoolwork because I'm a bit behind. Luckily, we are on spring break, which I didn't know that was a thing for us because it never occurred to me that in grad school you had a spring break. And then the fact that I work a professional job, we don't obviously have a spring break. So there's really nothing different. Especially since my friend was texting me this yesterday because she's the one who told me we were on spring break and I didn't even realize it. And then she texted me later in the day. She's like, I actually realized we're not really on spring break because even though technically speaking our assignments aren't due for another week, we still have to do them. And I was like, I was wondering what you were on. In my head, I was thinking we still have a shit ton of assignments to do. They just don't have a specific date this week. I just didn't want to burst your bubble. So your girl's been a bit behind, but my favorite thing to do is get my life on track. And I'm doing that every single day because I'm constantly not being on track with my life. But let's look at the positives of things, okay? Like I said, A, I'm exercising. B, Formula One. I have a frog in my throat. I don't get it. B, or number 2, which is what I'm currently holding up. Formula One is back, baby. For those watching, you can see on my hat, Ferrari is back. My nails are currently red and yellow because I have to do whatever I can to manifest a good season for us. I've been wearing red every day. By red, I mean my Ferrari jacket because I don't own many red things, which is one of the reasons why I got my nails painted. Because, first of all, our car this season is competitive. That I can say. It's genuinely competitive. That first half of that fucking race was amazing. We just are stupid. We have horrible strategies. We have not learned from the 75 fucking years that we've been in Formula One. We have not learned what good strategy is, which is really confusing. You would think, we would learn after losing horribly last year and barely getting any win. Well, we got 0 wins and barely any podiums. Charles was the only one who got any podiums, so that's that. But, I'm going to be the delusional one and say this is our season. I genuinely do think it is. I'm hoping that they just think better because we genuinely have such a good car. I'm really sad, though, because I did lose the first round of my fantasy league, which I'm so cool. Wait, I feel so cool to say that I have a fantasy league. I've always wanted to be someone who did a fantasy team, but I don't watch football or soccer or stuff like that. Typical things that people do fantasy for. So last year, my best friend and I found out that there is fantasy leagues for Formula One, and we made our own league. She destroyed me last year, and so this year I'm genuinely thinking, like, logically, statistically, not just working all based off of my honor, which obviously I still have to have a Ferrari driver and a Ferrari car because of my honor, but like last year I really was refusing to like do McLaren because I don't support McLaren and just stuff like that. But I'm like, I can't be like that. Anyways, I did change up my team this week, and I'm not telling her my team because we had made our team together the first time, but I'm like, this time I'm not telling her my team, and I chose people who I genuinely, honestly, I think I have a pretty good lineup. I don't even remember who I have, but I have a pretty good lineup. For those of you who are Formula One fans, I need more Formula One friends. So hit me up. Let's talk. Let's talk strategy. No, stop. Okay. Before we really get into today's episode, which is very, whatever. Today's episode is very more, checking in, things that I've processed in my brain and stuff like that. I don't make any sense. But before we get into all of that and my revelations about life, because that's all I tend to do is have revelations that never stick, so I'm constantly reveling the revelations that I once had, but then forgot about it, so I have to revelize them. If that makes sense. I think it makes sense. You know what I mean. I got kidnapped. Like legit. Well, not legitimately kidnapped, but like within like legal standings, legitimately. But it was like, okay, fine, kind of thing. Where basically my sister's fiance's best friend, so my bestie's bestie, came down for the weekend. He lives in Chicago, so he came here to visit and stuff like that. And so we had planned to go to Austin. I live in Houston. We planned to go to Austin on Saturday, but there was a bit of a storm in Austin. We're like, okay, fine, we won't do that. We're like, but we can maybe spend our day, in Houston, and doing things there and stuff like that. Even though I feel like there's more stuff to do in Austin, but Houston's cool too. And so my sister was like, oh, don't bring your car. We're going to all get, like, brunch with my family and, like, with them. We'll all get brunch. And she's like, just ride with mom, and then we'll just take you from there. And then I'll just bring it home later, like, in the day. And cool. I am someone who, I have a main rule. I always bring my car with me. Well, of course, I need to go places, but because I like to leave when I want to leave. That's a big thing for me. I hate being somewhere and I can't leave. It bugs me. Also, I always bring a book with me or my laptop. My laptop when I have work to do, and like I said, I've been behind on my school, on one class that I don't care about. None of us care about it. We kind of just do it to get it done because our professor is not a good one. He's rude and extremely, extremely unhelpful. I mean, we have to do these meetings every Sunday, where we pretty much go over stuff for our class, go over our scripts, pitch stuff to each other, a pure collaboration. The entire meeting is my classmates ranting about how much they dislike our professor because he's so horrible. Like, I genuinely will be emailing the head of our program because I'm like, you guys need to get rid of this guy. I mean, we all said that at the beginning when we first met him because he did something so vile. First of all, he was very sexist and disrespectful to us all, and it was like a whole big problem. I think I spoke to you guys about it in my episode. For those who want to know what he did, it's genuinely juicy. I feel like I was in a movie. Check out my I pitched to the writers of Modern Family episode from the beginning of this year. So it's that guy, and he's not great, and this script is just I'm not enjoying it at all. So I haven't really been caring about being on top of that one. So I'm just behind on one assignment. But anyway, because whenever I have like things to get done on my laptop, I'd like to bring it with me. But I'm like, well, we're going to be in Houston all day. I don't want to carry anything. I didn't even bring a bag. I just stuffed my stuff in my jacket and kept things minimal. I was like, plus I'm trying to work on being more, like when I'm with my family, friends and family. I think I'm speaking very fast. Let's slow it down. Sorry, guys, sorry. When I'm with my friends and family, I have been trying to work on being more present and open and communicative and, extroverted, because it's very easy for me to pop on my headphones, open a book, or go on my laptop and start doing other things. But I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm trying to be better. That was a goal for myself this year, is be more present with my friends and family. And I've been doing pretty good with that. So I didn't bring anything. And then we go to brunch. brunch was cool. It was a really cool place. Unfortunately, I didn't really like the food that I got. And my sister, I was like, my sister, can you send it back for me? Because I wanted to get these like lemon ricotta pancakes, and she's like, no, get the matcha ones. And I'm like, well, I've never had matcha pancakes before. That'd be cool. She liked them. I did not, and they were huge. They were 3 stacks and like $20. And I don't want to pay for it if I'm only gonna eat a single bite and I'm not gonna like it. But I'm not the type of person to send food back. I will literally just suffer through it. I'll just eat it and not like it. And my sister's like, you're not doing that. And I'm like, well, can you send it back for me? She was like, no, you need to you're an adult. Be an adult. And I tried to ask my mom to do it. My sister literally was like, Mom, don't do it. She needs to do it. And so our waiter, thankfully, was really cool guy. He was really fun. He was like, I can have him make you some new ones. I'm like, no, it's okay. I already had like other like side dishes, and french fries and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm fine. I'm honestly pretty full as is, so that's okay. Well, be proud of me for that. But after that, we left, and I get in the car with my sister and John and Kevin. I'm like, okay, so what are we doing today? We're in Houston. Are we going? And she's like, oh, we're going home. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean we're going home? Why are we going home? Do we have to go grab something? She's like, no, we're all pretty drunk. Well, not her. She didn't drink the whole morning. But her fiance and her and his best friend had a couple of drinks. She was like, and I'm pretty tired, so we kind of want to chill at home and take a nap and stuff. And I'm like, well, can you guys take me home? I thought I came here with the impression that we were doing stuff today. And I was like, plus I don't have my it's one thing if I had my laptop and my books, I could go to your apartment and chill. Fine, I don't mind doing that. But like, we're not doing that. And she's like, no. Oh, lost internet connection on my PlayStation. Sorry. And she's like, no. So she brought me to her apartment, and I'm like, well, fuck, okay. I was talking with my nephew the night before, and he was like, you need to watch the new Superman. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll watch Superman. We all watched Superman, and I was like, well, I'm kind of on a Man of Steel kick, so I was like, let's watch Man of Steel. And I ordered myself some food. I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty nice. I was like, I need to sometimes learn to decompress a bit, maybe get my brain away from school and responsibilities, especially since that morning I hadn't gone to jiu-jitsu, and I was like, okay, well, I couldn't go to jiu-jitsu. I couldn't go to jiu-jitsu because we didn't have class that day because they had a tournament. So I was like, well, let this be a chill day, just because, I was like, Sunday, I have jiu-jitsu, then I have cycling, I need to shoot my podcast, get some work done, get some cleaning done, so this can be like a pretty chill day. I was like, okay, cool. Fast forward, I'm pretty tired. It's like 7 p.m. I'm like, okay, guys, I'm ready to go home. I was like, Formula One, the race is starting at 10. It's our first race of the season. I am not missing it. I wasn't feeling good. I haven't been feeling good lately. I've been feeling like, I think my body is just like overworked, because I get up so early, and then I go to work, and then I'm working, and then I come home and I do homework, and then it's just like, I don't really give myself proper time to rest, because on the weekends I'm like trying to make up for the lack of time that I had during the week. And so I haven't been feeling the greatest, and I was not feeling great that night. And I was like, please, when I tell y'all, I was like a peasant begging for scraps. The way I was begging to be taken home. I was like, please just let me go home. I'm like, please, y'all, please. Like, I'm trying to be serious, but like, I'm trying to be serious without being like rude, because I don't want to make them upset. Like, I don't want to create like bad vibes or whatever. Especially because I don't want anyone to get upset with me. But at the same time, I'm just like, which is probably people pleaser in me, because I'm like, please just, I want to be like, just take me the fuck home. Like, I'm going to go home. But I was like, I'm literally trying to convince them to give me free will. What the fuck? And long story short, I ended up getting quite literally picked up and taken out of the house. And I was down about it, but I was trying not to be a party pooper, so I tried to get in the mood a bit. My sister, I think she definitely did feel a bit bad, because she knows me, especially because I was big on like, I really want to watch the race, and I want to watch it at home. Plus my niece was here, and I had promised her, because I didn't come the 2 days before when she had wanted me to. I had planned to, but then the plans that me and her mom had made ended up falling through, so I ended up not coming to her house that day, because I was like, I still can come just like to stop by and see her, but her mom was like, she'll be fine, like, you don't need to do that, you're gonna see her when she's over at your house tomorrow anyway. And I was like, y'all, my kid is waiting for me, she's gonna be so mad. And my niece is at an age now where she holds a fucking grudge. Oh my gosh, she's like a teenager in a 7-year-old body. Like, where did my baby go? She's still there, but it's like, like sometimes I'll be like, don't get mad at me, where are you? She's like, she stays with, you made me mad 3 times today. I'm like, because I can't let you do whatever you want. Like, I have to say no at times. I'm not the aunt that's going to just say yes to everything. Like, you have to have discipline. So I try not to anger her. And so my sister, I think she felt a little bit bad, and ended up, she was like, I'll buy all your drinks for the night and whatever food you want. She's like, I just really appreciate you coming. I just really wanted you to come. Which we talked, and I was like, that's fine, it's fine. But it also meant that they were all going to be playing Wing Woman for me, which I appreciate. I think I'm someone who's very shy, so, you know, honestly, I could probably need all the help I could get. Only thing is, it's very hard for me. You know, I'm someone, I want to be in a relationship. I want to fall in love. I want to experience all those things, but, you know, I'm not going to do the most to get it. Like, I'm not going to go on dating sites. Those creep me out. And I'm not going to just talk to random people that I have no interest in. First of all, I'm sorry, I don't want to sound shallow, but if I have zero physical attraction to you, why am I going to waste your time? Like, I think, obviously, looks is not all that's important in a relationship, but it is a big part. You kind of want to be sexually attracted to the person that you're involved with. And so it's rarely find or see people that I'm like, oh my god, you're pretty cute, or I like your vibes. And so I had our waiter there. I was wearing, obviously, for the race day, I was wearing my Ferrari jacket, and this girl came up to me. She was a waiter there, and she was like, oh my god. I was like, are you like a Formula 1 fan, or did you just like the jacket? And I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed. I'm stressed because I'm waiting for the race to start, and she was telling me, she was like, I've been begging for them to like play the race tonight, and I'm hoping that they will. She's like, because if not, I'm going to cause a big, problem. And she was really cute. She was very, very cute, and she's very cool. Not my type, but she's very cool. And generally, I think if I was alone, I would have like really engaged with her a lot more the way I'm good at engaging with people. I think if I was alone, I would have really engaged with her a lot more, probably gotten her number, who knows, which I think she was straight, but like, I don't, also fucking hard to tell, guys, it's so hard to tell, but like my sister and Kevin and John were all there watching me, and I could feel their eyes anytime I was talking to her, because we talked a couple of times that night, especially because I was watching the race, so she would come and like look and just like, I would be like, okay, this happened, or like, something happened, I would pull her, I'm like, hey, Charles is in P1. I'm like, Oscar crashed. This isn't that happened. And that was cool, but like I couldn't like really be myself because I was being evaluated, and it made me so uncomfortable that I just kind of shriveled into myself, and I didn't. And I was about to get her Instagram, but I ended up not doing that. Because I was so uncomfortable, because I felt like I was being graded at school. Is it, when you're in school, like in like high school or like elementary school, middle school, I don't know, and your like principal comes and sits in your class because they're trying to evaluate your professor, or not professor, but your teacher, and so everybody feels like they have to be on the best behavior because you were already told that they're going to be there, and they're going to be watching. Like, that's how that felt, where I'm just like, hi. So that that was how that went. But yeah, I don't know. I was talking to my nephew about that, because he was like, he's such a like romantic, and he was like, T, I really want you to find love and fall in love. He's like, please come to Atlanta with me. I know so many gay girls who are probably your type, and you can talk with them. I'm like, babe, which is cool, but I don't want to do a long distance relationship. What do you mean? But he's like, girl, you need to get your game up, which is, I think, is really, really, really funny. But okay, let's actually get into today's episode. Enough about me and my failing love life. So, I told you guys I've been having a little bit of a rough period. Which I said I was taking a break from social media, a break from the previous break that I told you guys I was taking. I think that was like a week. I literally am so bad. I will delete social media in the morning, and then by the afternoon, I will have downloaded it again. Because then I get bored, and I'm just like, oh. I try not to be on it a lot during the week, because I'm like that. Never mind. I will sit on it. I will sit on it for like hours when I need to be doing other things. So during the week, I need to like genuinely come up with restrictions for myself, which I need to actually do now. And during the weekend, I can be more lenient and stuff like that. But I need to be more careful with just like the content that I consume, because I found myself, and I think the reason last week especially, that I was having a hard time, was I was really, really comparing my life to the lives of the people that I see, the ones who have podcasts that are like super, super successful, who are super successful actors or screenwriters or directors or just people doing the things that I want to do in my life. Especially, and I can kind of justify it a little bit where it's just like, oh, these people didn't get to this peak in their careers until they were, in their 30s or their 40s. I'm like, I have time. And then I see people who are quite literally my age or younger than me doing the things that I would hope to be doing. And then it's just like, what am I doing with my life? I'm like, I'm working in a field that's not my field. I procrastinate on everything in my life. I was just genuinely, comparing myself, making myself really feel bad at myself. And then I'm not an envious person. I'm not a jealous person. I wasn't jealous. I wasn't envious and nothing like that. But it was just like why am I not there? Like, it wasn't me feeling bad about them, towards them or anything. It was just me feeling bad towards myself. And I'm like, I should be there by now. But then I had to like genuinely rationalize this to myself later in the week. I'm like, girl, that makes no sense. My journey is not the same as theirs. They all had very different circumstances. They all started off very, very young in their life. I can't compare myself to someone who's been doing it since they were 5 years old. Like, girl, what? And I had to really think about it because it's just like, it's very funny. I feel like as humans, we're just never fully satisfied with where we are in our lives and what we're doing in our lives and stuff like that. Like, we always want more, that hurt. I fucking cut my finger open and it's been healing, but I was snapping and that was not a good idea. Sorry. But like, we constantly just want more. We'll get something that we've been praying for, and then when we get it, we're like, oh, this is great, and then that feeling is fleeting because we're moving on to the next thing. We're like, oh fuck, but now I want that. Like, I got this car, but fuck, that next car is gorgeous. I need that. Fuck the car I've been praying to have for 5 years. I want this new model, this new version. And hell, even I'm guilty of that sometimes with my Bronco. Like, I love my Bronco. I've prayed for a Bronco for a year. I manifested that shit. Every time I see a Bronco, I blow it a kiss. Like, y'all, my level of obsession with Broncos is honestly genuinely unhealthy and kind of stalkerish. Just because I know where like all the Broncos in my community are. Like, I know all the houses, I know the colors. I don't know the people, but like, let me not incriminate myself with this. But like, just stuff like that. And sometimes I love my Bronco, but I'm like, my Bronco's a Bronco Sport. I'm like, but I wanted a Bronco, not a Bronco Sport. And I'm like, I wanted a Heritage. I don't have a Heritage. I'm like, girl, what the fuck? I have one of the cars of my dreams. It's just because it isn't the exact one that I wanted doesn't mean it make it any less the car that of my dreams. I wanted a Bronco. That's all. Like, come on. And it's just like, I had to think about where I was this time last year. I was working at a grocery store, making fucking pennies with people that I didn't really care for. Genuinely, the time I hated it. I was constantly tired. I was overworked, underpaid. It was a horrible experience. I would never go to a Kroger's again. So bad to the point that any piece of clothing that I wore there, I threw away, which caused a problem with my mom because she's like, T, where are my snow pants? They weren't like snow pants, but they were really fluffy pants that I had worn when it was like snowing and I was like out. They placed me outside for a week during Valentine's Day, and I ended up getting so horribly sick. I was sick for 2 weeks. It was a whole thing. But I threw those away because I forgot they were hers. And she's like, well, you can't throw my stuff away. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's also been a year. You're just now asking for them. You clearly did not care. And she's like, well, I didn't need them after winter time. I'm like, that's a valid point, I guess. But at that time, what was the little thing I was praying for was, God, can I please find a big girl job? Doesn't even have to be in my field. Just something that will allow me to feel more grown up. Something that will allow me to get on my feet a bit with good pay, which I currently don't have right now because it's like a whole thing, fuckaroo going on with my job. But I got that. I got it. And I got a job that, while I may not be getting paid well, everything else about it is great. Besides the fact that I do have to drive an hour and a half there every day. So, everything has its downfalls. Everything has negative effects. But I got what I asked for. Was the way that I thought? No. But it's just like, I need to be grateful. And I am very grateful, even if I complain sometimes. But it's just like, it's kind of like, I need to kind of like ground myself in my own reality a bit. And just like evaluate where I am. Well, I have a really great lifestyle. I have a really great family. I have, no matter how crazy it may drive me, I have a car. I have a roof over my head. I can pay for my nails. I can buy myself books. Do I have a lot of money? No. Do I have money that I really need? Absolutely not. Do I have enough to make ends meet? Yes. And that I am grateful for. It's just like, I'm going to Disney for like an entire week in July, and I am living another day. I'm about to be 23 years old. I have friends who genuinely care about me. I mean, literally, I have friends who just call me just to sit on the phone with me. Like, that's so sweet. Fucking 14-year-old, 15-year-old me. This is actually sad. If I got a phone call when I was in like high school, I would genuinely get excited, like, oh, maybe it's a friend. I had no friends. And of course, it wasn't a friend, it was my fucking mom. I would literally look at my call log and I would just see my family members, and I'm just like, Whereas like now, I'm so good at talking to people. I used to pray to be more extroverted and have a good ability to have discussions with people, and even if they're awkward, but be able to get through that. Like, I prayed for all that, and I have all of that now, and I need to ground myself in that reality. And I think a lot of that way is just for me trying to be more present in my life. I think it's easy to become dissatisfied with what you have when you just constantly see that people have more. I don't want to say better, but like better things, bigger things, or they're doing things in the media that I want to be doing, or just stuff like that. But it's just also like, girl, are you really working the way you need to be working to get to that point? Not as much as you should be. I'm putting in the work, but I'm not working as hard. And a lot of that has to do with time being not on my side and stuff like that. But it's also like, if you want it, you gotta make it, it's what we're doing, of course. So it's just like, really grounding myself and just being present and grateful just for every aspect. I'm trying to take on new hobbies. I do. So I really, I really want to learn how to play an instrument. And I have two. I have a ukulele and I have a violin. No one wants to hear me play the fucking violin, and I need to practice my ukulele. But I'm like, I also really want to learn how to play the piano. And I found like a really cool keyboard for like $85 on Amazon. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that's easier than playing the violin. Am I right? I feel like that's easier to teach myself. Excuse me. I genuinely, I don't know. But just like me taking a bit more hobbies. Well, I don't want to say a bit more hobbies because I'm really just like, I don't have time to do things, and then I'm filling my calendar more. But just like grounding myself and just doing mundane things that don't have anything to do with my career, because I don't want everything that I do to just be about my career, because then it's like, girl, you need other things, which I have been trying to ground myself more just with my writing and really focusing on that mainly, because that's always been my safe space. And since I started school, it's become a bit more stressful because now it's for a grade, and it's also being evaluated by so many people, which that part is amazing. Like, my cohort has such great feedback that like I created this big board for my script, and I haven't done that in years. But I took all their feedback, and it took me a week of constant feedback and constantly like organizing and like redoing how I wanted my script to go, and reorganizing my scenes and moving stuff around. It made me feel really, really cool. And that's just been great. But like, finding other things to do that's outside of that, which we're going to ground ourselves more in my career, in trying to create stuff for myself. But like, I started jiu-jitsu. I think that's first of all, I only had one class, and the last 2 weeks my sister and I did not go. One, because she had a whole thing at work and it was horrible. And then on Sunday when we were gonna go, because me and her had been out, like, because she kidnapped me, we were out late. And we both said, like, she was like, I'll call you in the morning, and if I don't feel good, we're not going. I'm like, okay, good. We both, at 7:30, she called me. She's like, if you want to go, I'll go. But I'm telling you, I don't really feel like it. I'm like, girl, I need sleep. Yo, I have been sleeping until 12 p.m. So 12 or 1 p.m. I used to not be able to sleep past 7 a.m. Like, I genuinely would wake up at 7, and then I had to force myself to go back to sleep. Like, even now, I'd have it where it's like, even if I would sleep to like 10, I would still wake up around like 5:30ish, because like my body and my cat wakes me up to feed him, because I typically feed him at 5:30 when I'm getting ready for work. He must have been hating me over the weekend, because I was sleeping through his advances to wake me up, and I was not getting up. Which kind of also sucks because I'm like, damn, I really like my mornings and my weekends because like that's when I'm trying to get my day. You know, I didn't leave the house till like 3 on Sunday, and I'm like, shit, I have errand. I had to go grocery shopping. I had to get my nails done. I went to my sister's house to watch an episode of Glee because I'm trying to, spend more time. But I started jujitsu so that I can have a hot. Well, I've always wanted to learn it. I think it's a great skill to have. I need to learn how to protect myself, but also it gives me something to do with my big sister, my twin sister. She's only made it older. I feel like I have to clarify that. She's not that much bigger than me. Fuck. I'm taller, but she's ripped. That's my big over there. But it gives me an excuse to hang out with her and give us something to do. I took up cycling because I enjoy cycling. It's a good form of exercise. I do it once a week. But it gives me something to do with my sister-in-law because we both get so busy. Just with everything I have going on, and then her with her life, her husband, her kids, her job, her writing. We don't get to see each other as much as we would love. So we at least know that once a week, okay, cool, we'll see each other for 45 minutes and we'll hang for a bit. I think I would like to take on playing the piano. I think that would be fun because why the fuck not? And I would think that would be so cool. I love Beethoven. I'm sorry, but he's so good. But yeah, and just, when I think about the future, and I try to be a bit more positive about it because I think it's really easy for me to get down. Even now, before I started my podcast, I'm like, it's never going to go anywhere. I've been doing this for 4 years now, and I get a little bit of a following, but not much. And I'm like, well, I don't promote it. I kind of just make my episodes, and I have fun with that. But I was like, I should just do this as a side thing. Just do it for fun. I don't need to be serious about it. They're like, why am I love doing podcasts and I love taking it seriously. Why am I trying to convince myself not to? Because I'm feeling like I'm going to go nowhere with it. No, that's stupid. So when it comes to my future, I'm trying not to overthink it and overanalyze it and I need to be here and here and here. And I don't want to overplan it, but at the same time, I do want to have sustainable goals and dreams, things that I'm working towards. And I found I have those for this year, and I still need to make my vision board. I got the boards for it. I just never had time. I need to make time to make it. I think it's easier to go for something where you see it every day on your wall. But yeah, so I'm feeling a lot better. I'm, trying to incorporate other things in my life to kind of get me into the mood for life, and I need to really work on my discipline. When motivation leaves, discipline is what stays. I gotta work on that. I've been in a bit of a book slump, so I actually started to read, because I said I wanted to reread my 5-star books. So I just started rereading Beach Read by Emily Henry because I've been in a slump just because the 2 books that I were reading are good. But I'm like, the writing style that I need, the beauty of the writing style is Emily Henry. And I don't want to read the new books at first that I have because I only have 3 more books left that she's ever written to read. And then I'm done. And then I'm gone. I have nothing else until she releases another book. I'm like, I can't do that to myself. I got to spread this shit out. So I was like, well, let me reread Beach Read. I wanted to reread it because the first time I did it as an audiobook, and I was just writing stuff down for it. I'm like, this is good. Please ignore my mother doing the dishes. So bad. But I was just I was literally writing quoting quotes, having to stop and go back and I listened to the quote again. This is just so good. And I bought that version and I bought the UK version because the UK version has a different ending. And I'm literally reanalyzing it and I'm rereading it and I'm highlighting and writing in it, which is something I started the end of last year. I started writing in my books. And I don't do it all of them. If I have no reason to do it, I won't. But if I think that the writing style is really good, I'm like, oh, I have to. The shit is kind of fun. What do you mean? So that's been great. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. That's how I'm feeling. Your girl's doing pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. She's feeling good. Oh, has this not been recording? My mic was muted. Stop. No, it's recording. What the fuck? Because I hit the button, it was red, but I'm looking at my computer and it says it's recording. But we'll figure that out. Thank you guys so much for coming on and listening to my episode. If there is an episode, I don't know if this is a proper episode or if it was being properly recorded, if it was recording into my computer and not my microphone. Either way, I hope you enjoyed, no matter how this audio sounds. Thank you guys so much for coming on and listening to me, and I will see you, I promise, I will see you guys in next week's episode where we will talk about Bridgerton, because I was planning to talk about that tonight, but I really want to go make a cake before it gets too late, because your girl's been on a cake making thing. I've taking a break from sourdough. Me and Debbie have been in a bit of a fight My sourdough last three times I made sourdough have not come out great. Yet I've been making it since October and it's been wonderful. So I do not know what's going on. So we'll figure that out. But I love you guys. I thank you, and I will see you all next week. Bye.